So good afternoon, everyone. I am delighted and incredibly excited to welcome my guest for this week's Reintroducing the Art of Conversation. It is none other than Aoibhín Garrihy. I'm super delighted to have you on, Aoibhín. And before we kick off in our few questions, and no doubt you have a million and bazillion things going on, mum of three, as well as an entrepreneur, and all things moving and shaking with Bio. But I want to give a little intro into who you are and where you're coming from. So for anybody, and the very few who maybe haven't come across Aoibhín before, and that's particularly for those living in mainland Europe or across the world who tune in to Reintroducing the Art of Conversation, she is an actor, a presenter, a voiceover queen. Notwithstanding, she is built on she oozes creativity is the best way to kind of describe her. Her range of diverse expertise led to the creation of Irish nationally renowned health and wellness brand called Bio. Founded by Aoibhín and her partner in crime, Sharon Connellan, Bio encapsulate ideas that I'm really interested in. I've been a champion of Aoibhín and Sharon for many, many years. They cover everything from just living and being simply
your best self.
Your best self. You couldn't even describe in a better phrase from Aoibhín herself. But the core mission of Bio is to inspire, motivate, encourage self-care of not just the physical sense, but the mind and soul. And they run bespoke events right throughout the country on self-care. And it's predominantly for women, but I have seen one or two men in the many years that I've been tracking you. New dates just launched. We will get into it there. She also is a mom of three girls, a sister to two powerhouses, a daughter to another powerhouse. They will be mentioned throughout the stories as we go. And a really exciting time for entrepreneurship, particularly I think coming out of COVID, for women who are creating and curating these ideas around their kitchen tables with babies and other businesses and other responsibilities. And Aoibhín is kind of the quintessential queen of that. So before we get into all things hard questions, I want to say, how are you getting on? How has 2021 been? How has the COVID experience been for you? You welcomed a couple of babies over the last few years. So I'd love to hear from you and see how you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, lockdown was good for something, Maria. A moment of madness and a bottle of wine, and here we are. I'm rocking her here as we speak. I'm praying and hoping for the best, that she stays quiet. But look, as you can't hold out the tide. So let me just preface this whole conversation with that she's here at my feet. Oh, she'll probably give you a little yelp as soon as I look at her. It's like she knows. She's only 9 weeks, but she's getting too clever. She's getting too clever for her own good already. It's been great. The year has been very good to us. As you mentioned, we have welcomed a newbie, and we feel very lucky. You know, it's mad. Let me say that it's absolutely mad. We've got 3 under 3, and things are hectic. My husband is also in business, and things have been, as you know, for the hospitality industry, just crazy. But you know, we're here to tell the tale, and you know, I'm very lucky, Maria, in that I'm surrounded by a lot of creativity and a lot of innovation, and people kind of picking themselves up, dusting themselves off, and getting on with it. And I guess it's in these times of adversity that you realize what you're made of. You realize, you know, that
the grit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do feel like, you know, what's happened over the past 20 months has been, it's helped us to see the bigger picture and put the things that are important into focus. And you know, I've shed a lot of stuff that didn't serve me pre-pandemic, which has to be a good thing. It has to be. But I'm a glass half full person anyway, you know, and have always been. I tend to lean towards, you know, adopting the positive approach rather than, it just helps me get on and keep trucking. So, you know, even when things were incredibly scary and, you know, it felt like Armageddon, I was tending to look at where the opportunities were from the very start, you know.
Yeah, a true entrepreneur, you are. And I actually, to the point of, you know, I'm super excited and for bio, and your personal journey with bio, because I think, to your point, a lot of people, including myself, and we've talked about this on the stages of bio, have shed the stuff that was not serving them. And then bio comes, and has been coming for hundreds of predominantly women over the country, and just planted the seeds of that positivity that radiates from you, and that creativity. And it's like, but why can't I? And I'd love to hear from you in terms of, how did the idea of bio present itself to you? And like, did you just see that gap, and as you said there, you picked yourself up from something else and decided, right, how can we pivot this to something of positivity?
Yeah, we've had this conversation before at Bio, Maria, and I think you're the queen of the pivot. and
yeah. I
and
forgot I said that too a few times.
totally, and you are, and that's, I used to get so excited talking to you about that, because it really resonated with me. Yes, I was an actor and trained. I did the Bachelor in Acting Studies course in Trinity, and honed my craft there, and went on to act in Dublin, and toured with the Gate Theatre, and had roles on screen too. But I guess there was an itch there that I had never really scratched, in that, I came from a family of entrepreneurs, and then was starting to see John, and all he was kind of passionate about, and his creative juices flowing on a regular basis, and getting a chance to, I guess, to exercise those muscles, and being in charge of your own fate, I suppose, and not waiting for the phone to ring, and seeing the fruits of your labor. Like, I could work on every skill known to man in the acting sense, and make sure that I was really at my, the top of my game, and make sure that, I was ready should the opportunity present itself. But at the end of the day, it's a matter of opinion, and art is subjective, and if you're not for somebody who's in the driving seat with a particular project, that's it. You don't get the gig. And so that weighed heavy, I suppose, as someone who wanted to be busy, and I wanted to be able to exercise those muscles as much as possible, and not have the opportunity to do that all the time. And look, I was incredibly fortunate in the roles that I did have, but I knew there was something there that I just wasn't getting a chance to really explore. And it wasn't until I moved to the West and I saw the opportunity here, along with my partner Sharon. And seeing, Dublin can be a bit of a rat race at times, that people are very much in their own lane. And it took kind of moving away from that and moving to the West, and seeing, people innovate together and create together. And there was a lot happening here that was kind of exciting me, that I thought, what, I feel really inspired. And also, there was a wellness movement happening across the country. So the timing was good. And women, true to form, and particularly Irish women, were burning the candle at both ends. Too many women I loved around me seemed to be doing that, and putting everyone ahead of themselves. And it's only when they got a severe wake-up call that they realized, oh God almighty, I need to start taking this thing, self-care, that buzzword that was flying around, seriously. And it looks very different to different people, that idea of self-care. But my own mom, for example, absolutely suffered from burnout, and plenty more women besides her. And I just thought, what, we need to start talking about this more, and just create a platform for women's issues in general. Ireland doesn't have a great history with women's health, and this, and so that was something that I wanted to certainly shed light on, and have those open, honest conversations. The likes of Laura Brennan and Vicky Phelan, and have all taken the stage, and it was really an honor to be able to do that down through the years. And we started in 2017, and then obviously pandemic hit, and a business that existed primarily in the live event space utterly ground to a halt. And it was a case of sink or swim. And myself and Sharon were over and back, and we thought, if we don't have events, if we can't meet, if we can't have that shared experience with strangers in a room that seems really, really safe, where we're doing something that we feel is worthwhile, well, what is BO? And we had to kind of reinvent the wheel, I suppose. And in the first few months, that was absolutely exhausting. We were trying to get our message out there, but wondering, what was the best way to do that. So we tried everything. Podcasts in the wardrobe, IGTVs. We had a virtual series. When we were allowed to move a little bit, we had our first outdoor event on the bay, on a boat. And we just kept coming up with new ideas to keep the bio message alive, I guess, and managed to do that. And when things then started to open up and we could have our first event, it was magical. It was magical to be able to do that again. And we're very much back now with a bang. And it's given me more joy, honestly, Maria, to be able to, there's a lot of people are shedding a lot of stuff, over the past while. And there's a lot of tears. And, Tara Rafter, who's been with us since we came back, she has managed to have people, shed buckets of tears, and happy tears and sad tears and people laughing, together as well. But it's been a strange time for people. It really has.
And actually, to your point, of the bio story, I think that is quintessential a woman's journey in many ways. It is that pivot, it is that regrounding and relearning and growing. And I've been in the rooms of bio. I've heard speakers like Sheila Shoiga and many others numerous times, because I've been so fortunate to be an alumni of bio. But every single time, even if it was the same lineup, you come away with a completely different message and a learn about yourself that essentially you get woken up in a different part of you. And I think I was at one bio where a woman was celebrating her 10th bio experience. So it's not just for 1 or 2 visits; it could be up to 10, if not beyond.
That's Diane. We know her well now. We have a loyalty card for her, and she's been back again. I think she was on her 14th there on Sunday. So it's amazing to see people come back again and bring family members too. And say, I came alone. I have my mom because I think she'll really benefit today. And to hear people revisit is just it makes us very, very happy and
there's
proud.
There's something so extraordinary about knowing, regardless whether you went on your own or with someone there's a woman left or right of you, or across the room from you, that is living in a similar experience. Might be feeling very differently about it, but living through a similar experience and having those shares, and that really safe space to release stuff. I cannot stress enough that if you haven't attended a bio, please gift yourself the time to do so. Which then kind of leads me on to, so if anybody has been to bio, you walk in and they have these beautiful either stationery or like note cards or like just beautiful things. But now you've recently launched Bio Sleep Well, which has been inspired by, dare I say, the west of Ireland. Well, Ireland as a whole, but given your home is not your birth home, but your hopefully forever home, because I think the west of Ireland is so fortunate to have you. But I know you have rich history in your parents being from the west of Ireland too. But did you realize with 3 babies under 3 that you're like, right, sleep for me is so important, and how do I get into a business here where other women desperately need sleep too?
Yeah,
that kind of awakening?
It's the irony of it. I'm promoting sleep, talking about sleep, thinking about sleep morning, noon and night, but getting none of it. But look, it was really hearing the experts who took to the stage, doctors and pharmacists and wellness advocates, and sleep kept cropping up time and time again, something that we tend to overlook. It's one of the fundamentals of our general health and well-being. It's something that we take for granted. We expect just to happen. When it doesn't, we feel it. And nothing can really work. We're not eating right, we're not training right, we're not, thinking straight without it. So it was a no-brainer for us. It was something that needed to be really tentative, like, launching a product, launching a brand, when you've never done it before, is incredibly scary, and it's huge investment of time and obviously resources and funds. So we needed to tread softly, I guess, in the beginning. For us, sustainability was number one. Working with local producers, local ingredients, cruelty-free. It needed to tick all those boxes. And so we had a lot of figuring out to do initially. But you know, again, you talk about creativity. It was something that I just loved throwing. And Sharon too, like we get such mileage out of seeing something, you know, come to bear. And we were so excited to actually, you know, hold the first product. It was a sleep enhancing pillow mist, lavender ingredients from the Burn. We had an overnight lip mask as well, Burn beeswax, and then we had our bath salts with all ingredients from the wet, like hand harvested seaweed here in the west of Ireland, just off the coast of Clare. So it was really important that, again, that, you know, everything was local. But when we held the first, I guess, jar, you know, we just got such a buzz out of it. And I guess, yeah, that was the start. And then again with the pandemic, that was pre-pandemic. Again, then with the pandemic, it made us realize that, you know, people's sleep wake cycles, the pandemic was wreaking havoc with all of that. Lockdown was wreaking havoc with all of that. You know, the boundaries, I guess, look, we don't miss the commute, or didn't miss it, but at least, you know, it was a clear indication of, right, I'm leaving work, I'm going home, I'm starting my wind down period. But when people were doing everything from home and working, and kids and, you know, family life and all of that was in the one space, things got really merged, I suppose. And also, you know, there was a lot of anxiety, the fear of the unknown, and, you know, financial concerns, health concerns, all played a part in, you know, that silent pandemic that was insomnia. And, you know, we put all this time and energy, and I see it now with the girls, into, you know, their bedtime routine, and making sure it, like, if anything interfered with that, I would be like a woman possessed, you know, because it needs to be like clockwork, really. Like, you know, the bath and the temperature in the room needs to be right, and the story time, and the, you know, the lighting and everything, the mood. But when it comes to myself, you know, I'm on the phone until God knows what hour, and then just expect, after all that blue light and having drunk coffee and caffeine all day, and, you know, filled myself with all the wrong carbs and all the rest of it, I just expect it to happen. It doesn't work like that. And I guess we wanted to create a ritual around sleep. That's where you know, Sleep Well was born, and it's just grown. And we have a few different ranges now. I spoke there about the organic collection, and we then have our Aran knit throws, again, you know, locally produced, and socks. So again, it's just that cozy vibes, particularly in the winter, and kind of harnessing that idea of hibernation. And it's okay to slow down, and it's okay to take time for yourself. And we commissioned a local artist as well. Because so much of what we do is inspired by the West, we want to kind of champion the West, and we have, you know, beautiful imagery from the Burn and a barn owl, and yeah, it's kind of really got our creative juices flowing, and created something that, you know, we love to look at. We're big on aesthetics. We love doing the shoots and creating beautiful imagery, and you know, and I guess it's something that we've got a real buzz from, but people have really enjoyed too, and have, you know, gifted their loved ones. Maybe not something that you'd particularly buy for yourself, something that you can give someone who's just had a baby, or you know, is going through a rough time, or just needs that little pick me up at home. That moment, I guess, of self-care, when we were all missing one another and away from one another, and not getting a chance to go to the likes of the events or whatever, or go to our gym or whatever, you know, we do for ourselves, to give yourself that little moment at home, you know, just to make yourself feel a little bit better, a little bit more like you, I guess. So yeah, it's going. We popped up in Arnott's during the summer, which was really exciting for us. We're in Brown Thomas at Christmas, and we're launching our first shop for Christmas in Ennis, on O'Connell Street there on the 18th of November. So it's all go. It's all great. It's all really exciting. And we have a new range coming out of linen sleepwear, Irish linen again, which is actually the fabric of the future in terms of sustainability. Linen is the one to watch, because of the way it's made. It's biodegradable, it's recyclable, and it gets better with age. It gets softer. The more times you wash it, it actually gets better. So it's one of those family heirlooms that you can pass on.
I love, as like, you are radiating off the screen here, talking about all things bio, and all the
as a sales pitch, Maria. I just get so
no, you don't. I mean, but you know, it's not salesy. It's passion, and I think as women, you know, I think we don't either gift ourselves the podium enough, or as other women, we don't gift other entrepreneurs and other creative mindsets and strong, gritty women the same fortune that we ask of ourselves. You know, you spoke. I'll wait for that to hit. You spoke so beautifully about the West, about just having that inspiration at your fingertips, and the textures that you are now surrounded and you grew up in. How has, seaside living, how has nature helped you over the years in terms of your mental health and well-being? Because I know mental health and well-being is essential to all things bio, but equally yourself personally. And I'd love to hear a little bit about, how you pull those passions through everything for your own self-care.
Yeah, so I grew up in Dublin, Maria, as you know, and both my parents are from Clare. My dad's from Doolin, my mum's from Belharbour. And, I'm so grateful to them that, they brought us here, every chance that they got, and the roads weren't as good back then. We'd have to go through every town in Ireland, but, they still made it their business to bring us every long weekend, bank holiday, holidays were spent in Clare. And it's probably part of that rich tapestry that we're all made up of now, because and it's the culture, and it's the music, it's the heritage, and it's the landscape. And if you're very familiar with this neck of the woods, but the Burren, and it's an iconic, unique environment to be in. And my best memories, summers growing up, were in the West. Like we were Celtic Tiger Cubs. We were brought to the Spains and the Disney Worlds and all the lovely places too. But they're not the memories that stick with me and bring me the most joy to look back on and think about. It's the 2 weeks we spent mucking around in the Aran Islands, on bikes, packing picnics, having a fresh loaf of bread delivered up from the neighbour, and putting a few rashes on the grill and just having the chats and having the crack around the table together. And, that's what I guess I hope to bring to my own family now. And I feel really fortunate to now live here and see, what it does for them. They're different kids when we spend a few hours out by the coast. They're covered in sand in their ears and they're in every nook and cranny, but they're happy, rather than you could be, whisking them off to, elaborate stays, or, putting them in front of TV. They turn into monsters. Bring them out to the coast, or bring them up the hills, or bring them to the Burren, and it's a different child you're looking at. So I just feel so lucky to have that. And then, throughout lockdown, even confined to just Ennis, we were confined to our 5K. I found hidden gems here on the doorstep. I'm, a big sea swimmer, as you know, and really missed not having the coast, within the 5K. So found Ballyala Lake here, which was a hidden gem, and that kept me going. Therapy for me is nature, and I think for everyone, and that really came to the fore when we were all forced to slow down. Mother Earth was the hero in all of this, and really I felt compelled to write a poem about it, and did, and poetry was something as well that I took time out to really kind of immerse myself in again, because it's something I loved in college and in school, and you have to be in a particular headspace or moving at a particular pace to really enjoy it. But again, during lockdown, it was something that I really took a lot of comfort from.
Well, and I mean, to really cut you in there, I mean, your series on poetry through Instagram was beautiful. Like, it was, I actually had never heard so many of the gems that were shared, that you connected with us, and that those watching you had connected to. It was beautiful. And actually, to your point on nature, poetry, and Mother Earth, it just was, it was a beautiful combination.
I think that, again, it was just timing. I mean, now ask someone to sit down and listen to a poem, they don't have the time anymore. We're all like headless chickens again, But it was the fact that we were all sitting at home twiddling our thumbs, and we had the time to enjoy it. But it's funny, what it forced us to do, and what it allowed us the time to get back to. But I mean, nature it is, and like it's the healing properties, and it was our savior. It really was.
And as you will hear throughout all of this, as you're listening, so nature, sleep, self-care, the basics, the supports of that other gorgeous Irish word, mehel, where your community is supporting one another and you're seeing what's on your doorstep, is quintessential all things bio, and yourself, Aoibhín, being at the heart of it. Final question, because I know you have a bazillion other things to go, and no doubt the three fierce, strong girls that you have brought into this world and you are raising. want to need something to make their day a little bit more brighter and better. But my final question to you is, what comes next? You know, for you with BO. I know you have new events coming up in the new year, no doubt already sold out. But how can those watching learn more, hear more, and get connected to BO and everything that you guys are doing?
So myself and my partner Sharon, between us, we have 6 smallies. So we often wonder.
Six. I mean, 6. Not one each. 6.
And they're all under the age of 4, you know. So we're just happy to kind of be able to get up every day and put one foot in front of the other. But all the while, the stuff, you know, it actually, for us, it's where we can adult, you know. Things are full on with the babas, but when we talk BO, it's a little bit of ourselves that we can enjoy. And yeah, we're always looking to new opportunities. As I said, our new linen range is just about to be launched, something that we've poured our heart and souls into, and something that we're really excited about. And the pop-up shop over Christmas. And then in the new year, we're back with the bang. January is a great time for you know, getting people together, getting people to kind of, it feels like a clean slate. I think this January in particular will feel, okay, we've learned a lot, we've gone through a lot, and we're ready now. We're ready for not a new me. It's not new year, new me. It's the old me, just with new intentions.
Yeah, focused. Yeah, the focused me on self, which I think we never give enough kudos to.
For sure.
Fabulous. Well, I'm so grateful, Aoibhín, for you gifting us time, for sharing where and how BO and everything that has come with it has come from. You talk about the west of Ireland with such beauty and grace. So super great as a Westie to be reminded of that too. And hear it from another voice. So with that,
you're another champion of it, Maria. And like, I mean, your photos that you took when you had a chance, you were grounded. You weren't hopping on a plane every couple of weeks, and you took time. You had all these beautiful pictures of the cows. I remember seeing them and thinking, oh my God, she's home now, and her eyes have really been opened to the beauty of what's there.
It's always to your point about, you know, the holidays overseas. They're gorgeous, they're lovely when you get to experience something, but there's nothing like nature. There's nothing like grass from the west of Ireland under your feet, and animals that, you know, are just, yeah, they're just around. The west of Ireland's the best place in the world, and it's fun to be living here in a more well, it was definitely fun over COVID in terms of a more permanent basis. And then when the 5K lifted, I was like, oh no, I have to go out into the world beyond. But while it's nice to be back into some sort of normality, I hope what we learned, particularly as women, particularly as those who are sitting around their kitchen tables, or chatting like you and Sharon did, chatting as friends to talk about, hang on, we do have commonalities, and what can we create from this? I'm super excited to what the next year or two and beyond will look like post-COVID, because I think we're going to have so much more women looking at, right, what is it that I can do, and I know I can do it, and how do I drive forth? And you and Sharon are a fantastic and beautiful example of that. So thank you for gifting the time. Whatever you have told those children of yours to say, right, 30 minutes.
High five. She stayed quiet.
You're gorgeous. Oh, she's so beautiful, Aoibhín. She's so beautiful.
I'll have to give her a hug now for that, because she was very good.
That's not easy. I
promise I didn't sedate her. I think she likes you, Maria, but who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Well, back in my day, my mother would have been like, here's Dynatap or Calpol, and may you be quiet for an hour or two. But thank you very, very much for gifting your time, and so grateful, Aoibhín.
Pleasure,
and look forward to seeing you very soon in person.
Yeah, great. See you soon. Mind yourself.
Thanks. Thank you.